Should you be taking Mounjaro in order to lose weight? Hey team, and welcome to this week's episode of The Inspired Show, the show that is dedicated to helping you become the best version of yourself, mentally as well as physically. This week's episode is all about a question I get asked every single week, is if people should be taking Mounjaro in order to lose weight. Now, this is my opinion based on my experience of being a health and fat loss coach for the last 15 years, helping thousands of people lose weight in a safe and sustainable way through building a better relationship with food, improving their lifestyle, moving more, but most importantly, overcoming things like emotional eating, stress drinking, and building better boundaries in their life. And this is not medical advice. If you are thinking about taking Mounjaro, please speak to your GP first and foremost before making any decisions and obtaining a prescription. But as we get into this week's episode, if you've not done so already, hit the subscribe button so you can stay updated with every single episode that drops every single week. Smash a like on it. Let me know any big takeaways or questions you have, and don't forget to share it with somebody who may benefit as well. So Mounjaro, it is all the craze at the moment, and you probably know somebody that may be taking it. You probably thought about taking it, or you may even be taking it yourself right now. So what is it? Well, it's a relatively new medication from a weight loss point of view, initially designed to help people with type 2 diabetes. It's a GIP and GLP-1 medication that helps the body mimic naturally occurring hormones to help regulate blood sugars and regulate appetite. Now, if you're a type 2 diabetic and you are taking it to help manage diabetes and it's been done through your doctor, then that is only a positive thing. There are many conditions that require medication to help manage them. So that is important that you are following the advice of your GP when it comes to medications. Now, from a weight loss point of view, if you're somebody who has a BMI over 30, then this may be offered to you. So should you be taking it if it is offered to you by your GP? Well, here are my thoughts on it. Now, when it comes to taking weight loss medications, I truly believe that you must have exhausted every single avenue before going down that route. And I speak to so many people on a daily basis who have been trying for years and years and years to lose weight, but most importantly, keep it off. A lot of these people have lost weight, but they don't manage to keep it off in the long term. And one thing they tell me is, Luke, I've tried everything possible to lose weight. But 9 times out of 10, when people say they've tried everything possible, what they actually mean is they've tried a variety of different methods in order to lose weight, in order to create that calorie deficit, because it's a calorie deficit that allows you to lose body fat and allows you to lose weight. So they've tried the slimming worlds, they've tried the calorie counting, they've tried going to the gym, they've tried fasting, they've tried Zumba, they've tried swimming, they've tried walking, they've tried a million and one different things. Now, that doesn't mean they've tried everything. That means they've tried a variety of different methods of managing their food and managing their movement. But where a lot of people haven't really focused on is the issues behind the issues. What's actually stopping them being consistent with their food and consistent with their movement, because it's consistency that's stopping them from seeing long-term change. Consistency with eating that deficit long enough to get to their calorie goals and their weight goals, and consistency with the regular movements and building behaviors for long-term success. So have you tried these things? Firstly, have you actually sat down and got a clear understanding of the reasons why you want to change? I think a lot of people like the thought of changing. They like the thought of wearing the clothes they want to wear and having more energy. But when push comes to shove, a lot of people are more content staying the same, because losing weight and changing behaviors, it takes time and it takes effort. And we live in a world where we want quick fixes and we want results instantaneously. So after a stressful, busy week, a lot of people don't really want to take the time to cook a healthy meal, go for a walk and have an early night to have some self-care. They'd much rather deal with a stressful week through having a takeaway, a bottle of wine, and then being inactive over the weekend. So for these people, have you got really clear on the reasons why you want to change? Really sit down and thought about how it's impacting your life right now and how much would it mean to you deep down to make these changes. So that's the first thing that I urge people to look at before going on these medications. The second thing is expectations. Now, like I said, a lot of people have been successful in losing weight in the past, but they just can't keep it off, or they're not happy with the rate of progress they're making. Now, we live in a world of unrealistic expectations. People want to be losing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pounds every single week. And when they don't achieve that, they feel the method that they're doing is not working. So they feel, what's the point? I'm putting all this effort in. I'm only losing £1 a week. I might as well just carry on eating loads of crap and being lazy on the sofa. So this comes down to an expectation, okay? Now, realistically, for most people, the expectation should be 1 to 2 pounds per week. In some cases, half a pound. Some weeks you might not lose any weight. And without those expectations, you're going to set yourself up to fail. So having these realistic expectations is super, super important, because you might have been successful in the past through moving a little bit more, managing your calories, losing 1 to 2 pounds per week, but because it's not fast enough, you self-sabotage and you give up. So realign your expectations and have them set correctly. The third thing I see a lot of people that they don't really do is to focus solely on the outcome and not on the behaviors needed for long-term success. And this is very apparent with your fad diets, where people will do a fad diet, for example, the Cambridge diet, where they're on a couple of shakes a day, a solid meal, and they will lose a ton of weight. Once they get to their weight goal, they then believe job is done, they revert back to old habits and behaviors, and then all the weight regains because they've not focused on building the behaviors and habits for long-term success. And like I said earlier, building behaviors and building habits takes a little bit of time. So making sure, alongside making changes to your food and your movement, that you're also reinforcing the behaviors that prop things up like that. And when you start doing that, what that'll then do will allow you to make sustainable change. And number 4 is they haven't really addressed the bottlenecks. Now, for a lot of people, the reasons why they're overeating is they're using food as a way to deal with trauma, to deal with boredom, to deal with overwhelm. And if they're not addressing those situations, they're always going to go back to food. They're always going to stay stuck. So when people say they've tried everything, they've not really tried everything if they really take a step back, zoom out and think about it. So what I want you to think about when it comes to your goals and when it comes to maybe taking a medication, have you actually sat down and thought about your reasons to change? Have you actually thought about your expectations? Have you thought about the efforts required and behaviors needed for long-term change? And have you actually thought about your bottlenecks and what's really holding you back? Now, if you can honestly say, hand on heart, you've done all that and you are still struggling with the weight loss side of things, then yes, Mounjaro can be a very useful tool. But I urge caution with this. Whilst it will help you manage your blood sugars, manage your appetite, suppress it, and in turn help you consume less food, those issues will still be there if you end up coming off the medication. So it's very, very important when you start taking it, you also address the lifestyle issues, the behavioral issues, and the bottleneck issues that you've had in the lead up to taking that medication. So at least then when you come off it, you've addressed those and you can maintain your weight loss afterwards, because a lot of the research does indicate when people do stop taking the medication, their weight does regain because they've not addressed the core underlying issues as to why they gained weight to begin with. So make sure you are working on those things, but there will be some people who say, well, I might take it for the rest of my life. And again, providing you're happy with that and it's done through your GP and you're happy, absolutely amazing. So when it comes to Mounjaro, I'm not for or against it. It can be a very useful tool in certain circumstances to help you on your health and fitness journey with regards to weight loss, but the underlying message is you've still got to work on your behaviors, you've still got to build lifestyle change, and you've still got to work on any bottlenecks that lead you to using food or anything like alcohol to deal with these situations. So hopefully you found today's episode helpful. If you did, please smash a like, please give it a share, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to our page. And until next week, guys, I will speak to you very soon.